purpose of this video is we want to talk a little bit about our vacuums, how to use them, and how to keep them running. This is the model of vacuum we use, and I've got two examples here. This is one that's pretty new, and this is one that was actually turned in with a note by one of our cleaners about how we need to buy better vacuums because we buy lousy vacuums. So I was going to show you a couple things. First is when using these, this is your height adjustment. It goes from low to high. You just change it by turning the knob. You typically want it on the lowest setting possible. The way you can tell is you want it low enough that the brushes are going to engage the carpet, but you don't want it so low that it's actually starting to drag. If you feel like you're having to fight the vacuum, you need to raise it up a level. To dump the bin, it's pretty easy. You just turn the gray knob and you pull it out to dump it. You're going to want to dump the bin pretty regularly because the number one problem that we get with these is that people fill them up too much. And once this compartment gets filled up, it backs up in the hose and it clogs it. Once that happens, it'll stop working. Typically, if you're not seeing the debris flying around in this container, if it starts staying still, it's time to dump it out. You never ever want to go above the white line on the side that says fill. So I want to show you some common problems, and this is an example of a vacuum that was brought in as broken, and I'm going to show you why it shouldn't have been. First of all, they brought the vacuum in still dirty. So the mere fact that you would not even dump a vacuum out before you brought it back into the office isn't a very good sign. You should always dump your vacuum out after every single job, if for no other reason that this might accidentally come off and dump out in your car, which isn't a very pleasant experience. The other things though, are there's a couple filters on this vacuum. The first filter is right here in the top and it screws out. This filter is designed to get rid of large debris. I don't know if you can see that very well in the video, but this thing is so clogged that I'm not surprised it's not getting very much suction. This is really easy to clean. All you do is take it outside and bang it off. And if you're in somewhere where you can rinse it, you rinse it underwater and let it dry. That right there probably just increased the suction of this vacuum by 50%. The next filters that you need to pay attention to is the bottom of this dump compartment screws off. And once again, you have another filter. If you take a look at that filter, guess what? Not much air is going to be getting through that filter because it's so dirty. This filter on the outside is foam, and all you have to do is pull it off. And you can take this and rinse it in the sink. And this guy is probably going to take a lot of rinsing in the sink because it's so dirty. You just rinse it in the sink until it comes clear. What it's supposed to look like, because I can't unlock it. Always good when your camera fails. There you go. Is that. That's what it's supposed to look like when clean. So that'll give you an idea what that's supposed to look like. Finally, there's another filter which just unscrews. Inside the foam filter is a cloth filter. You can't rinse this one, but this one, now I'm going to do this inside. You should never do this inside. But if you take it outside and you bang it, all that junk in that filter is going to come out of it, and then that filter is going to work better. And once again, this is what the filter compartment on this vacuum looks like. There's one last little filter, and that is right here underneath. There's a little piece of foam. That's one last little filter to catch any large debris. Same thing, if you take this and rinse it out in the sink, that vacuum will work like new. So this vacuum that was returned because it was a piece of garbage is actually a perfectly fine vacuum, but as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 filters are dirty. When that happens, you don't get any suction and it stops picking things up. So what you need to do is every once in a while check the filters on these and rinse them out. It's not too hard. You take this, rinse it in a sink. You want to let it dry before you put it back on. It doesn't take any special parts, but that's basically how you keep these vacuums running. If they get clogged, you just bring them into the office and we can unclog them for you. But as long as you're dumping this bin pretty regularly, it should never clog on you. If you have any questions, let me know, but that's why we use these vacuums. They're pretty simple, and other than a couple filters, there's not too much that can go wrong with them.